everyone, welcome back to No Sugar with Everything Krause. We are recording this for the second time today, or not today, second time
this
week, and we had some audio issues yesterday. Yes, I know, I feel like that happens a lot, but listen, in this industry, it just happens. It was very uncontrollable, not something we knew. We've been using the same system. Everything has been running smoothly, and we had a audio connection issue. So just kind of speeding through that. That's why this episode, if you're listening, waiting for it to drop, it is obviously here now for you, but that's why it was a little delayed today, and we're just going with the flow. Feel like we're really being good at not letting things, like, we realized it happened and just kind of we're like, okay, we have to do it tomorrow. We don't have time today, and just like put it in the past. So I was proud of us actually for that.
I know.
Yesterday.
We like really stomached it. We're just like, whatever.
No, literally, I looked at the audio for less than 5 minutes and was like, yeah, Isabel, this is unusable. Can't use it. And Isabel was like, I don't have it time in my schedule today to re-record. I'm like, neither do I. Let's just leave it in the past and launch and adjust. So,
well, the thing is, just one thing I want to say that I'm really trying to implement this year is, if it's in the past, it can't be changed. So like the energy I would have spent being angry about it yesterday literally would have done nothing other than probably get us in a fight.
Well, and I feel like the re-recording after that, like, we sat down literally for an hour recording. So I just feel like it would have been
such a precious hour of our day. I'm like, please.
And like, you know, just when that happens, we said a lot of great things. But, you know, whenever we have to do a re-record, we tend to tighten things up, be a little bit more concise. It just stinks when we did say so many good things. And I'm like, I hope I can remember that, but like not force it. If I don't remember it, like, don't just say something. So anyway, that's a whole challenge in itself. But we're going to get into today's episode. We're actually really excited to talk about today's episode. As you guys know, Isabel and I love working out. We're very into fitness. It is a part of our daily routine every single day, and it has been for at least 5 years, like a massive part of our life. And we really wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about this because we'll talk about fitness in general in a sense, but also give advice and tips to people who are maybe starting out in their fitness journey, because obviously it's January, the new year. People set goals for fitness. It's their time where people start their fitness journey. They try and level it up. They just use this time to set new habits and routines for themselves. And I love that. I feel like people get a lot of hate. Like, I always see it floating around on the internet of like, take advantage of the gym now before all the January people come. And it's like, who cares if people are coming in January? I love when my classes are more full in January. I think it's amazing. I love seeing people staying committed, doing what they said they're going to do in the new year. If you don't start, you'll never start. You'll never keep it up.
Like, you should be so excited to see so many people taking the initiative to get healthy.
Exactly. And listen, if you're listening to this and we're about halfway through January and you maybe haven't started yet, that's okay too. Like, you can just start any day. It doesn't have to be January 1st to implement this. But with all that being said, Isabel and I really wanted to give, I guess, just tips and advice from our perspective that we would have wanted to hear when we were first starting out in our fitness journey. And like I said, we've been in it for a little bit. We've had a lot of trial and error. We've gone through a lot of different phases individually and kind of both together at the same time, learning from one another. And we just want to share that advice with you guys, because I think a lot of this stuff people talk about, but you don't hear it in longer form, or I don't know. We just want to give our personal insight on all of it as well, and literally share our experience with you guys.
Yeah. Well, and it's been an emotional ride, an emotional 6 years of learning about fitness. And that's kind of the reality of your own fitness journey. Believe me, you're going to learn so much in these years, but if we can save you some of the doubts, some of the concerns, some of the, setbacks that you may experience, we want to do that for you. I wish there was an episode like this for us to listen to.
Or even just give advice about those setbacks, because they're bound to happen, right? Some of these things that we'll talk about are going to happen because they're a part of the journey. And even saying that, I also want to preface, of course, we've been in this space for a little bit and, have just been in that daily habit. Like, it is so a part of our routine. But I want to preface with, Isabel and I were both once in a place where we put on our New Year's goals, work out 3 times a week, try a new fitness class. Like, we were in that place once too. So we started somewhere. It didn't just, we pick it up and we immediately loved it and we were doing it 6 days a week. Trust me.
I'll tell you exactly where it started. It started with the Chloe Ting workouts for her 11 line abs, where I literally had to force myself to do it every day because I hated working out. Couldn't even stay consistent with that.
Were like 10 minutes, and I thought they were torturous.
I thought they were torturous. And like Kateri said, my New Year's goal literally was to work out 3 times a week because I was scared that was not, like, I was like, is that too unattainable? Like, I didn't even think I could get to that point. So we have come a long way, 6 years of work, but it's also been such a beautiful journey.
Exactly. So we're going to get right into it, and starting off strong with, I think, probably the reason we're starting with this is I think it's both our like favorite piece of advice that we would give, and definitely took some learning to be able to even share some advice on this. And that's learning the difference between being tired and lazy. And I think sometimes we can be lazy when we're tired, so they can be interchangeable. But I think when it comes to fitness, there is a difference between the two. And for example, yesterday morning, my alarm went off, and it was a Tuesday morning. I was going to the gym. I was exhausted in a sense of like, my bed feels really warm. I love this. It's dark outside. I'm not ready to get up yet. And I knew that. Like deep down, I was like, I'm not crazy sore. My body's not begging for rest. It's only Tuesday. Like I literally started working out on Monday. So like, it's not like I'm overly worked here. You're just being lazy. And I had to kind of ask myself that in that situation. And then there's moments at the end of the week, right, where I might be like, my body is literally craving rest. It is craving for me to slow down, pull back, and just recognize that pushing more right now is not going to do me any better. Like it's only probably going to do me harm in those situations. And like we said, this is a lot of trial and error, and it's listening to your body, but it's one of those things that you really kind of have to learn, or else you will make a lot of excuses for yourself, I think. So I think the biggest thing that I do with this too is I try and train my mind to be able to have like a 30-second conversation with itself almost. Like for example, is when I like to work out in the morning. So a lot of the times that is setting the alarm, waking up and going to the workout. In those moments, it's really hard to get out of bed. Or if you're a person that works out at night after work, it can also be really hard to like convince yourself to go right to the gym, to get home, get changed and go to the gym, whatever it is that you're doing, go to the workout class. But being able to have that conversation with yourself of like, am I being lazy or am I really tired? What is the difference between the two? And I think tired obviously looks like you're sore, you're run down, maybe you're mentally really foggy, you didn't have great sleep, your body's just asking for rest. And I think when you get used to having that conversation with yourself, you can understand when your body is asking for rest. Like I feel like we're both at the point where I know if I'm saying I can't work out today, it's for a reason. Like I've gotten to the point where I can differentiate between laziness and tiredness, and when my body's like, please just give me this. But it wasn't always like that. And there's going to be times when maybe you said, I need a rest, and then you realize I was probably being a little lazy. And that's okay. You need to have those moments too, because that's how you're going to learn the difference between the two as well.
It really takes like a level of almost like radical honesty with yourself, because that's how you learn when you really do need rest. And if you aren't honest with yourself, you're kind of only hurting yourself in the long run, because the truth is you do need to have the discipline and to not be lazy, but you also do need the rest. Like both are so
you almost need the discipline
essential
for the rest as well.
Yeah,
too.
like it's really, because rest, like this is something I always struggle with. When I started my workout journey, I wanted to be so locked in, so go that I almost never allowed myself to have rest, because I always thought if I took rest, I was being lazy. And there is such a difference between the two. I know Kateri and I just like emphasize that, but rest is actually like so productive in your fitness journey. It's actually essential to allow your muscles to rebuild, to relax, to take that time off from constantly being torn and pushed and shredded, and allowing them to repair. It's what allows you to show up better. So there's days where you need to take that rest because it's actually going to accelerate your fitness journey. But then there's days where you're going to be lazy. And if you rest every time you're lazy, you're not going to make the strides that you need to in the fitness journey. So it's really weird, because it's a balance that you need to reach between the two. And I just don't think you're going to reach it by being intuitive with yourself and trusting your body and how it feels. And like Kateri said, it's going to be a lot of trial and error.
And I think fitness in general, I like that you said that word intuitive, because I do feel like everything that we're going to try and talk to you guys about today, a lot of it is intuitive and working with yourself to figure out what you like, what you feel like. It really does need to be a personal thing. Yes, you can get inspiration from people. Yes, you can maybe see like, oh, this girl works out all week and then she rests on the weekend. Maybe I'll try that. Maybe that schedule doesn't work for you. Maybe by Wednesday, you're so exhausted, you need that day to kind of keep going through Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Take the rest then. Like you can adjust things. And like Isel said, it's about listening to your body, being intuitive with it and being able to hear it. And I just think it takes time, it takes practice, and that's okay. And I think the point of almost like beating yourself up about rest is very accurate. Even some days now, if I'm not working out, for a split second, I like have that guilt in my mind, but I also then remind myself of the importance of rest. Like I tell myself, I think about like my muscles tearing almost, because that's essentially what's happening when you're working out, when you're moving weights. Those muscle fibers are getting tiny tears all throughout them. So it's important to let them come back together, let them recover so that you can push harder your next workout. You can lift heavier, you can do more in like a good, sustainable way. And I feel like I remind myself of that too. And even going off of that, continuing this rest talk, I think it's really good to almost plan maybe something you will do on your rest day that's still taking care of your body, but has something incorporated that's an intentional rest. So don't just like sit on the couch all day. Maybe go on a walk. Maybe you spend 10 minutes doing a mobility stretch on YouTube, or 10 minutes just doing straight stretching on YouTube. YouTube has so many different videos that you can follow. Maybe you just, you do a 15-minute yoga and it's more restorative yoga. There's so many avenues that you can plan into your rest days that kind of check off the little mental check in your mind of like, okay, I took care of my body today, but just in it looked different than it did yesterday.
Well, and I think that's how you kind of need to look at rest, is it's taking care of your body. I think some people look at rest and think, oh, I'm going to completely neglect my body today and not do anything. And it's like, that's not really rest. Rest is just a different form of movement. It's slowing down to allow your body to be relaxed, to allow your cortisol to maybe drop a little bit. It doesn't mean completely neglecting everything you know about movement and like having a free for all one day a week, because that's also going to be a really toxic cycle to be in. If you treat rest days as like your one and only break, it's like, okay, now you're going to go through a cycle of like hating working out and like looking forward to the rest days. And it's, you don't want to, not that you don't want to look forward to the rest days, but I know I look forward more to the movements than I do the rest day.
Exactly. And I think once you stick to a routine and you fall in that routine, it all becomes a habit. You crave those movement days. You crave, even when you are resting, you crave the walk, some sort of movement. Like the days where I am just running around and I didn't have time to work out. I planned my rest day, right? But then I didn't even end up having the time to like go on a walk or do anything. I feel it in my body of like, oh, I just like, I'm craving some sort of movement, something outside of just living life and running around, doing errands, all that stuff. Like you will start to crave it. And I think that's a beautiful thing about fitness and movement, is you do crave it because of what it does for you, not just from a physical standpoint, but from your hormones, the dopamine, the endorphins, like everything that you feel that you get from fitness and working out, you will start to crave that. So kind of leading right off of that, don't underestimate the impact of daily movement in your life. So of course, we were just talking about rest and how we like to even incorporate some sort of movement on those rest days. Getting in the habit of moving your body daily is so crucial. I truthfully think that even if I walked 4 days a week and I only worked out 3 days because of just my schedule, or I was feeling extra tired that week, that to me is more beneficial than anything else, because I think there is so much benefit in daily movement. And like I kind of just was saying, getting in the habit of moving your body, you begin to crave it more. And Isla and I love walking. We could talk about walking forever. It's seriously like one of the best things that we have incorporated in our life. It's changed our lives. I feel like I started walking in COVID because there was nothing else to do. So I would like go on walks around the neighborhood. Sometimes I would literally walk the neighborhood like 4 times just because I was like, why not? And now can't imagine not having walks in my life. Do you know what I mean? It's like such an essential part.
I feel like a lot of people look down on walking, like they treat it as not a form of movement. It is movement, of course, but like they don't think it's satisfying like their movement box. Like they think it needs to be a strength training session or all of that. And the truth is that like walking is quite literally one of the best forms of movement. I know we kind of just said that, but it works a ton of different muscle groups, your core, all of your leg muscles. It even works up into your arms when you're swinging them and you're pumping them. It works your mental, like your mindset, like your brain is firing neurons like at a level that you don't do when you're just sitting. So walking is literally one of the best things that you can do. And that's why we say like, don't underestimate that. If you're going to do something, if you can't get to the gym, if you miss that workout class, if you don't have a space to do a workout, you can always go on a walk. And that still checks the box of, hey, I moved my body today. Like that is good enough. I feel like for a long time, I didn't think going on a walk was good enough. Like I beat myself up. I was like, oh, I just went on a walk today. And it's like, that's great. You did more than most do.
Exactly. I think to the point that you were saying, walking is a form of recovery, like for your body, like not just from like, oh, I'm resting, I'm taking a chill. Like, no, like thinking about what it's doing in your body, the hormone, it's so healthy for our hormones as females, walking, moving our body in that way. And I even think to the mental point, I feel crazy when I haven't gotten my steps in. Like I can sense it in my body. I feel maybe more like like foggy in my brain. I don't know. Like there is just sometimes when a walk hits different, I'm like, I need that mental clarity, and I can only get it from going on a walk. And we're talking about walking a lot because that's our form of daily movement. Even on the days when we're not in the gym or we're not in a fitness class, walking is definitely what we lean towards mostly. And what
Some
we're going to do,
maybe like stretching.
yeah, like something like that. And that's great too. Like if that's what, again, this is where you need to test different things out, and it's okay to use this time to test things out. You're in this for the long run, so you might as well figure out what you like and don't like. And maybe it's downpouring all day, you don't have a treadmill, so you can't go walking. Okay, that's when you try stretching, some mobility, some, I don't know, a little like YouTube video.
And the reason we say not to like really underestimate daily movement is because movement is meant to be daily. I think a lot of times people think that their whole week of workouts needs to be like an intense gym schedule. And it's like, if you have walking 3 days, lifting 2 days, maybe Pilates 1 day, like that is a really effective workout. Daily movement is how you reach your goals. Setting the goal of like just moving your body every day is what you should be striving for. Not, I always feel like it's so daunting to think like 5 days a week in the gym. Like that is so daunting to me. But if I just say move your body 5 days this week, it allows me to have the flexibility, but it's also really, really powerful. And it's really powerful, not just for your physical game, but also for like the mental game, for falling in love with movement and allowing it to be what you want it to be.
Exactly. Keywords there, falling in love with movement. Like that is the goal, because if you don't fall in love with it in some way, and whatever movement you end up falling in love with, like it's so, you won't stick with it. You won't stay committed to it. It won't last longer than January, because think about if you were trying to start a business and you didn't love the business, why would you give effort into it? It's the same thing. Like you can go to work and not like your job, but if it pays the bill, if you don't like working out, what's the point? Like you're not going to stick with it. Like that's why people fall out of it, because they don't do the things that they say, they don't do the things that they like to do in terms of working out. Or like you said, they think that they have to have such an intense split or workout routine every week that it's not sustainable. And I think when you weigh out like an intense workout versus just getting daily movement in, leaning towards the daily movement every day and adjusting it how you need to is going to be better for the long term, because that's where it's sustainable. Like you're not, it's almost like the intense is so short term that you can't stick with it. I think, at least personally for me, like that's just from my experience. Listen, I was a girl that went to the gym Monday through Saturday. I had a split, I stuck with it, and I liked it for a while. And then after like a year of doing it, I was like, I'm craving something different. I need to switch up here. This isn't what I want to do. But I was so in the habit of working out that it wasn't like I completely gave up on it. I just needed to adjust what I was doing. And that's okay. That's like a part of the process as well.
Okay, going into our next point that I just want to mention, just because I can see us kind of like already touching
I feel
on
like
it.
we're holding back.
But not every workout needs to be intense to be effective. So I know that we were just talking about that in regards to like your workout split, but you can even look at this in a sense of like the workout that you choose to do in a day. I actually really struggle with this because for a long time, Kateri knows, I avoided Pilates like the plague, because I said to her, like, I barely sweat. I'm barely moving my body. I feel like I don't get my heart rate up. Like it's just not a workout. That's how I used to view it, because when I go to the gym and I hit my leg day, I'm dripping sweat. I can't even breathe. I'm dreading my next set because it's so hard. Like it was so intense that anytime I did any workout that wasn't intense, I just thought I wasn't building muscle or I wasn't even moving my body. And that is such a false like reality to live under, because there are so many effective workouts that you can do. Pilates is an incredibly effective workout. But no, it's not nearly as intense as leg day. And I think there's a purpose in that. I think some workouts are meant to be really intense and test your mental discipline and test your physical endurance and build the muscle in lifting heavy. Like there is a purpose of that in your fitness journey. But there's also a lot of purpose in moving slower and doing tinier movements, in maybe having not as an intense workout. Do you know what I mean? Like they all serve a purpose.
Mental muscles as well. Like the Pilates pulses are a different mental push than repping out Bulgarian split squats in the gym. And I think they come hand in hand. Like I feel like I can stay committed to my reps in the gym because of like Pilates, because I'm like, okay, you can do this. It's 10 more seconds. I like bring that attitude now to the gym. I fuse them together. And even like when I first started working out, I used to be like kind of similar to you. Like I have to be dripping sweat. I had an Apple Watch. I would see how many calories I would burn. If I wasn't burning at least 500 calories, I felt like it was a waste. I used to hate upper body days because I never really sweat on upper body. And obviously the more I've grown in this journey, And now being a personal trainer and learning all these things, of course you don't burn as many calories or sweat as much in upper body because it's literally smaller muscles. Your body does not burn as much because the muscles are smaller. Your legs are your biggest muscles in your body. I mean, obviously they are, but it's just like, no duh, you sweat a little bit more. Your heart rate gets up more when you do leg day because it's literally how your body works from a biological standpoint. Like, that is your makeup. That's what's going to happen. And for a while, I didn't see that. I didn't realize why it was like that. I just thought, oh, maybe my upper body day is too easy. Maybe I'm not lifting heavy enough, but like I can't really lift heavier. I'm like maxed out right now.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that if I wasn't ending the workout with cardio, dripping sweat, like you said, panting, huffing, puffing, I just was like, if I'm not doing that, what's the point? And it's that all or nothing approach, again, not something that's sustainable.
I was going to say, like, it's really daunting if you think that every workout needs to be that intense. Like if you told me at the beginning of the week, Isabel, every workout this week is going to be as hard as your Monday leg day, I would literally dread every single workout I did because that Monday leg day is really hard for me to push through. I know it's coming. I know how hard it's going to be, but there's a sense of relief when I get that done and I think, oh, tomorrow I kind of get to like move my body how I want to. Not that
a little bit more control.
Yeah, a little bit more controlled. Not that I didn't like I like the push on Monday, but I only like how hard my leg day is because I give myself room to not be intense in other areas. So it's kind of like that crave. Like I crave the push and the mental discipline because I'm not constantly
like feeling super
forcing
strong.
myself to do that. So I just feel like it's really daunting if you think that every workout needs to be that intense. And again, it's going to set you up for failure. I feel like that's the point of us giving all of these tips is so many people do fail because they set these bars or these expectations that they think they need to be intense. They need to do all these movements. They need to do this. And it's like, that's why you don't like it. That's why you do hate working out because you've created this idea in your head of what it has to be and not what you want it to be.
Exactly. This just has me thinking a lot of when I lived in Florida after college and I was there. That's when I like really got into a gym routine and where I was super consistent, woke up every day at 5 a.m., gym at 5:30, loved my workouts. I felt super strong. I just really loved what I was doing. I definitely still had some internal struggle going on of like I said, I always like finished on the stair stepper or ran with sprints or like did things. And I just went to the gym, right? I had my week planned out and Saturday I would either go to the gym or take it depending, whatever. It was like very much a heavy split. And I was falling in love with fitness, but I don't feel like I was fully there. And it wasn't until, I don't really know what made me do it, but I one day just woke up and was literally decided to listen to my body and was like, I am feeling so tired. I literally, my body can't do the gym today. Like I know that it can't. So I went on YouTube and I've talked about her before, Move with Nicole. I think it might have been like a 30-minute, I don't know if it was yoga, Pilates, it might have been like some sort of sculpt combination flow. We used 3-pound weights, which at the time I had never touched a 3-pound weight because I was in the gym. I don't even know if my gym had 3-pound weights. And it was literally that morning, like I can picture the morning of me doing it. I set up my mat in my living room, put it on the TV. It was the most peaceful, beautiful workout. I ended it and was like, that was the greatest thing I've ever done for myself. And I felt so rejuvenated. I felt good moving my body. And that is literally the switch that went off in my mind of like, you can incorporate this every week. It doesn't have to be just when you're so burnt out that you need this workout. It can be every week. And maybe it looks different. I played around with it going from there. It wasn't perfect from that moment, but just like it was that moment that really, I feel like helped me fully fall in love with fitness. Like it was when I realized that it doesn't have to be so intense to be effective.
Yeah.
And yeah,
you must shatter that. I know I'm kind of rambling, but like you must shatter that belief that lifting heavy is the only way to build muscle, to be fit or do any of that. Like you may not know the science behind it. Kateri and I maybe do a little bit more because obviously we've like had to do the research for everything Krause, for personal training, etc. But when your muscles are being worked, they can be worked in so many different ways. They can, like, stretching is a workout. Moving your body, bending over, forcing your quad to touch your, like, you know, like those are workouts in a different way. It may not be lifting, but it is still working your muscle. And I just feel like you need to get that in your head. Like any form of movement, that's why we said walking, don't underestimate it. Every form of movement is moving a muscle, and that's all that matters.
Exactly. I want to keep saying going off of that because I feel like everyone really goes so hand in hand. And like we said in the beginning, the reason we're saying all of these, and maybe some of them sound repetitive or sound like the same thing, but like a different version of it, is because we went through so many times where we didn't know this or didn't have someone telling us like, hey, it's okay to rest or do this. And that's why I want to share it. But even going off of kind of everything that we said, being consistent is going to matter more than the type of workout you're doing. And there's a number of different ways that honestly we could talk about this. You hear a lot of people say like consistency is key. Consistency is the best thing. Like you have to be consistent. There's a reason behind that saying. Like consistency is the only way that you are going to build this habit, that you are going to stick with something, consistency is what pushes through motivation. It's what builds discipline. Like you can't be disciplined if you aren't consistent.
Well, and I think that we pair this consistency with it matters more than the type of workout, because I think a lot of people don't prioritize the consistency. They prioritize like, okay, I need to do this workout. I need to do that. I need to hit this in the gym. I need to do that studio on Friday. Like they think of all of these things that they need to do every type of workout, and it just sets you up for failure where you almost can't be consistent with it. And it's not good to strive to do every single workout in the book. It's better to strive to just pick a workout and be consistent with that, because like Atira just said, consistency is where you see results. It's the only way you're going to build muscle. It's the only way you're going to notice changes mentally and physically, versus if you do something like that you can't stay consistent with every week, like it's going to just set you, I don't know how to describe it. It's
or
like
that you're doing because you see like everyone else doing it. I feel like especially with social media, there's so many fitness trends that happen, and fitness trends do come, they stick for a little bit and then they go. And maybe you fall in love with the trend. I'm not saying trends aren't bad. Like trends are what got me into mat Pilates in the first place. And now I am obsessed with mat Pilates. I love it. And it is such a massive part of my life, right? So that's a great trend and I'm happy. But someone listening, you might not like mat Pilates. For a while, Isabel didn't love Pilates. Now she likes it, but not because she forced herself to do it when she didn't want to, because she naturally found herself craving it and falling into it more, right? So it's the best workout that you're going to do is the one that you can stick with. So you have to kind of remove yourself from what other people are telling you to do. And maybe you try a bunch of different things and see what sticks. That's okay too. You're also not going to know right away because you can only try so many different workouts at one time. So it might take some time to figure out, okay, what do I actually like? Isabel and I are talking from years of experience. So I know that I don't like only doing HIIT workouts all week. I know that. I like a HIIT workout every once in a blue moon, not every single week, honestly. I don't need one every single week, but I started off doing that, right? So it's like, okay, give and take. There was a time when I only did the Peloton bike and I loved it and I was obsessed with it, and then I got burned out from it. So I moved on from it. And I just think we put a lot of pressure to be doing the perfect workout. What is everyone saying to do online? Oh, shoot, that person's running. That person's doing high rocks. That person's doing Pilates. I need to do them all. There's only 7 days in a week.
Yeah.
How many hours of the day are you working out? Like, if you have a full-time job outside of fitness, you can't be working out all day. So it's just, I don't know. I think, like I said, the best workout for you is the one that you're going to be able to stick with. Yeah. Like, that's ultimately my final point on that, honestly.
Well, just one more thing. I honestly think it even comes down to being consistent with like the exact moves that maybe you are doing in your workout, because I think of what Kateri just said, like there's a lot of times where I look up like a leg day on Instagram and I see like 10 different leg moves that I want to do. And then I like find myself like changing my leg day every single week. And it's like, that's not really the best way to build muscle, to be able to go up and weight and train your muscles. Like it's better to be consistent with like, hey, this is my leg day for the next 4 weeks because I know what I'm doing. I can see the progression. I can see the results. I can see the change within my legs. Like that to me pays off so much more rather than like trying to fit in every single leg move or something and being inconsistent with it. And I think I already said this, but it's just how you're going to see results. Well, no, sorry, I lost my train of thought there, guys. One thing that I think causes people not to be consistent is not seeing results right away. So I just encourage you to stay disciplined in your consistency, even when you're not seeing results, because there will be one day when it just like pops and you see it and you're like, oh, wow. And that day could be closer than you think, but you just have to keep pushing through. I see far too many people give up because they didn't get their dream body in a week. And it's like the thing with fitness is it's a journey. It is going to take a long time. But that's just like the point.
Exactly.
It needs to be earned. This is one of the only things in life that you have to literally earn. And that's what I love so much about it.
It's really not a quick fix. Like starting your workout journey to get somewhere physically that you want to be is not going to be something that you get in a week, in a month, in 2 months. It's going to be years of work. And you can either look at that as a scary thing. Maybe right now, if you're listening and you are starting that journey, that can be scary.
That doesn't mean you won't change. Like, of course, you're going to notice physical better results.
Exactly. But it's like, it's not going to happen overnight. Like, that's the biggest takeaway. And that's a beautiful thing too, because there's so much more growth that happens during that process in every area of your life that will see effects. So you will feel that. You'll feel that quickly. And that can go to this next point of, you're going to change mentally first before you do physically.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not realize that, or you might not go into like, oh, I want to start my fitness journey because I want to work on my mental health. You might not put those two together, but it will naturally happen. It just will. It doesn't matter who you are. It will change your mind mentally first pretty quickly too. Honestly, like go to the gym for a week, take workout classes for a week, move your body 7 days for 1 week. Watch, it'll change your mind. Trust me, like it will. I'm sorry, I don't believe that it won't, honestly.
I honestly think the mental change is what people are craving more than the physical change. And I don't think people admit that. I don't think people know that really about themselves. I think they write these goals for like physical change, but the truth about life is like your mind and your perspective, how you see the world, your opinion on things, and how whatever your mindset is literally shapes your life. It shapes how you look in the mirror and see your body. It shapes how you interact with all your relationships. It shapes how you deal with hard things in random situations. If you get at a stoplight, someone cuts you off, like how you react and how you choose to see that completely reflects like the quality of your life. So improving your mental mindset is probably the number one thing that you can do in life to improve your life. And it's typically done by habits like these. Like I think of the 75 hard. When I did that, I never understood how people said like the 75 hard can like completely changes your life. I was like, why? It's just like habits. I'm sure it just makes you more disciplined. Does it really change you? But it was the habits that shaped my mindset, that changed the way that I literally thought about life and just made everything better. Like I know that sounds bad, but like once my mindset was reframed, it was a whole different story.
Because you're showing up for yourself every single day. And that's really what it is. When you say you're going to do something and you do it, whether you realize it or not, you are literally just building the reps to building more confidence, to trusting yourself. Half of the world doesn't trust themselves because they don't do the things they say they're going to do. And whether they recognize that or not, I don't know. But that's what working out every day. That's why the 75 hard, doing the things that you said you're going to do it for 75 days. You're going to do it every single day and you do it. You're building that confidence, that self-trust, just like that grit within you that, like you said, is going to shape your perspective on everything in your life as well. It's not just on working out. And I think that's what I love about fitness and working out and moving my body every day is I said I'm going to do it, so I do it. And I say this a lot in like my classes to people of like, we're doing the hard thing right now. Like it was hard to get out of bed this morning. I taught a 7 a.m. class today. I'm sure everyone in there wanted to snooze their alarm a little bit longer and didn't want to get up. It's cold. It's dark out. Who wants to be getting out of bed before the sun even comes up? Not me. I didn't feel like doing it. I'm getting paid to be there, so I had to be there. But still, I'm like, you're doing the hard thing in here right now. Guess what? Whether you realize it or not, when you leave the room, it makes the hard things of life that might pop up throughout the day a little bit easier because you're building the confidence within yourself to do hard things. So if an obstacle comes along the way, you're like, okay, I can handle this. And you might not associate it with working out right away. You might be like, oh, it's because I did that workout class this morning. No, you might sound like a kook if you tell that to other people, but it's just this muscle and this, like, you're building the reps for yourself. And I think that's such an amazing part of this.
Something I noticed from the mental change within me was when I first, like we said, there used to be a time I set New Year's goals to work out 3 times a week. And the reason that I set those goals is because I wanted to be fit. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to have a certain look of my body, right? And that was the original goal. And then when I started getting into a consistent workout routine, I noticed that as my mind changed, I sort of didn't care about the original goal at all because I felt good moving my body every single day. And that's just like the power of changing your mind. When I say like your mindset shapes how you see everything, like I no longer saw my body as needing to be changed because I just felt that inherent confidence of I showed up today, I moved my body is fit and strong because I've been showing up every single day.
Exactly.
Like it was no longer a goal to be like, I need to get skinnier. That was only a goal when I wasn't showing up, when I was being sporadic with my workouts. So as soon as my mind changed from that consistent behavior, I saw myself differently too. It almost like really helped me with my body dysmorphia. And I feel like that was like a huge part of my fitness journey, overcoming that.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think even all throughout the years, like body dysmorphia is just such a prevalent part of especially females in our lives. And sometimes working out, being in the gym or being in these fitness classes can amplify it. But exactly to what you were just saying, when you're showing up and doing it for yourself and it just becomes a part of who you are, it takes the pressure off of that, of like, yeah, no, I am doing it. I am showing up.
Yeah, like,
Eating
why would I
healthy
think
and
I'm
working
not
out.
fit? Like, I
Yeah,
work out every day. Of course I'm
exactly.
fit.
Like what? Because I see myself in the mirror differently today. I look different today than I did yesterday. Like, no, you don't. It's probably just your mind telling you look different than you did yesterday. Because that happens a lot too. And I think when you look at fitness as literally becoming just who you are versus something that you have to do, that is the outcome of that too, of like learning to love yourself more, falling in love with fitness, just being something that is a part of you. It's not something that you have to force yourself to do. It's like you look at it as, oh, I get to do this every day. It gets to be a part of my life versus I have to do this.
Yeah.
And I think that ultimately is the goal too, is to be able to get to a place where you do say, no, I get to move my body. I get to work out today. I get to go to this fitness class, because not everyone has access to that. Not everyone has an able body to do that. Not everyone is healthy enough to do that. And not to point out the negative, but sometimes you have to address that there are people who can't do what I'm doing. I am so grateful that I get to do this, because it is a privilege to be able to move your body, to work out, to join a gym, to work out in your basement, to be able to even have anything to do something with.
Yeah, that mindset switch of understanding it's something that you get to do, not have to do, is like the biggest game changer. I feel like once you see it through that, you don't dread the workout. Like when I think about how there's people in a wheelchair who can't go to the gym and do a leg day, it makes me grateful for every single rep that I can do. And it's just it's like turns it into like a beautiful feeling rather than like a negative feeling of like, this is like I said, I have to. That sucks. When you feel like you have to do something, typically isn't going to feel like you want to do it at all. And
You're going to, like a chore.
You're going to resent doing it. But when you understand like, no, like I get to do this, it's just such a game changer. I'm rambling kind of going off what you said. But one more thing that I just want to say that I think is just funny about mindset is I feel like I've heard this quote before and it's a little bit shallow. So like take it with a grain of salt, but someone says like, if you're depressed, go get a 6-pack. And there's so much truth in that, not because having a 6-pack is going to make you feel sexy and good about yourself, but because they know that when you get a 6-pack, it means you worked hard enough that your mind will probably have changed and you're no longer depressed. Exactly. I often feel like movement is the easiest way to change your mind, to literally change your life. Like when people say to me like, I don't know where to go, I don't know where to turn, like just start working out because it'll literally change everything. It's that powerful.
Exactly. I love that. It's a funny saying.
It's a funny saying, but it's like it's so much deeper than just like the physical appearance.
Exactly.
It's like, no, there's going to be mental change that came with that. So I know you're not going to be depressed anymore. And you probably won't be. Like everyone's like, oh, you don't know my depression. And I'm like, you wait.
Exactly. One more thing that I want to point out that you had mentioned before we started talking about changing your mindset before your body and everything was that progress and seeing results are not going to come super quick. And I know we started talking about it, but I want to just emphasize it a little bit more of like progress in the gym is not one straight line. It's not, oh, I started working out, it's only up from here. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have moments of doubt. You're going to have moments where you don't feel as strong in the gym for some reason this week. You can barely finish your Pilates class. Like you are going to have those moments, and it is all a part of the journey. Like it is the point to go through those moments to be able to see your body fluctuate a little bit. Like it happens with everyone, or no matter who you ask. If someone is working out, if someone is literally the personal trainer for Kim Kardashian, she has had those moments. She has had those setbacks. Like everyone does. It's just a part of this journey and the process. And the sooner that you accept that will happen, the better it will be for you. Because if you can't wrap your mind around it, if you like don't want to believe that will happen to you when those setbacks do happen, it will derail you so much more than you think.
Yeah. And also like, I love what you just said about like accepting it, because I think a lot of the times when setbacks happen, we sit in our anger of like, oh,
you're pissed off. I'm mad so at yourself.
Yeah, you're mad at yourself. You feel like, oh, I'm so far behind again. I'm so far back. And you kind of like live in that headspace of resenting it, that it actually sort of stunts your action. Whereas if you were just like, all right, I just got set back a little bit. How can I take steps forward? Like if you accept it, you can think, how am I moving forward now? Yeah. And that's how you dig yourself out of a setback. And by the way, Kateri said this the other day in our yesterday recording, setbacks are like a slingshot. You get set back 2 steps, you're set forward 10 more steps.
Exactly.
Like it's those setbacks that teach you something that you need to learn that are going to better the rest of your journey. I don't know, like the setbacks are where you learn. I wrote this in my 2025 reflection for like my Isabel Kraus Instagram, but I just said like the valleys are so important of life because they're exactly where our happiness lies. Everything that you learn in the valley is what sets up your life to be what you want it to be.
Exactly.
And I just think, wait, what was it?
Give her a second.
Really, guys? I literally just lost my train of thought.
Valleys.
Can't remember it at all. Regained my train of thought. Took a second there. It took longer than I wanted it to. But I also think setbacks are something that are really beautiful, not just because of that, but because it constantly gives you something to work forward. If the growth was linear and you were just constantly moving up, you probably wouldn't have much like of a why or much
you'd be
passion
like, what's
to
the
keep.
point?
Yeah,
I'm
like
here,
what's the
made
point?
it.
Like I just keep excelling. Like you're gonna feel like you hit a plateau versus like when I have a setback, I feel so motivated to figure it out, to dig myself out of the hole, to become better. When I recognize there's room for improvement, that's what humans thrive on. We want a purpose, and setbacks give you a purpose. They give you a mission to chase, and that's like kind of the whole point of them. I think they're really beneficial when you're set back.
Well, and looking at it of like, this is supposed to be for the rest of your life. Like when I look at fitness, I always say it's fitness for my future. It's so I can be able to move my body. And so when I'm 85 years old, God willing, I can still go on a walk. I can pick up my grandchildren. I can be active in some way. Like I plan to do this in some form for the rest of my life. Of course, it'll change as I get older. It'll ebb and flow and all of that. But being able to recognize like you're in this for the long run. So these setbacks in the grand scheme of life, like a week of not feeling as strong in the gym is not going to crush you, because how many weeks of life do you have left? Potentially, you never know what can happen. You don't know what God's plan is for you, but just think about like, okay, if I'm going to be working out until I'm 90 years old, like I have a lot of weeks of trial and error that are coming up here. I can handle this week. That's okay. It's 1 week. I'm good. It's going to ebb and flow. Motivation, strength, discipline, all that is going to be wavering. And I just think it's not a scary thought to like look at it like, oh, this is for the rest of my life. It's a beautiful thought, because you can use, oh, I have a lot of time to try different things. I have a lot of time to switch up what I'm doing to, I don't know, do a different thing for a whole week. Let me just try this type of workout because I've been seeing it. I want to see if I like it. Let me do it this week and just see what you do. You know what I mean?
It's like the difference between living in a toxic mindset or like accepting it and looking at it as something beautiful, because again, it's not going to be something you're consistent with if you live in that toxic headspace of thinking you can't mess up, you can't be set back. It's really daunting. You're probably not going to want to take action because you're going to be so scared of messing up.
Exactly.
So accepting that is really important. That there's going to be weeks when you're not feeling as strong, and I want you to accept that as well. I think a lot of times we feel like we're so set back when we don't feel as strong, and like that's not a setback. As women and our menstrual cycle, like there are physically periods of the month where we are weaker, where we are more tired. When you get your period, you're going to have more energy. You're going to smash that workout. And you have to understand that that doesn't mean that your progress all went away or that you're not as strong or that you are constantly in setbacks. It just means that your body needs different things at different times of the month. Exactly. And you need to accept that as a woman.
I love that. I think that's an important point, especially because
I was like, I didn't mention that.
I know, but it is so important. And I think it's for setbacks, for rest, for all of it. This all comes together. The final point that I want to end on, and I think one of my favorites, kind of like a harsh truth a little bit, is you can't outwork a bad diet. So we're ending on this for a reason. If you are working hard in the gym, in your fitness classes, you're showing up for yourself every day, and you go home and you eat like crap, you are literally doing yourself
a disservice.
Disservice. I like literally couldn't think of where I'm like, shit, this was so teed up perfectly for me. Anyway, but you're just taking away from your workout. You're taking away from how you show up for yourself. Abs are amplified in the gym, but they're built in the kitchen. A butt is amplified in the gym, but it's built in the kitchen. Like some people think like, oh, I just need to work out and I'll get the abs, I'll get the butt, I'll get the shoulders, the biceps. If you aren't eating and fueling your body right, you won't get any of that. And that's just the reality. Like that was me. Take it from someone in college for 4 years. I ate healthy during the week and everything, worked out all week. On the weekends, I would try and eat healthy, but I was drinking a lot. I would definitely eat like crap, wouldn't eat my normal meals, right? I was all over the place, and it showed. Like I literally treated my body like crap for 3 days of the week versus the rest of them. And then it was like, no doubt you're not seeing results. My body literally didn't change once, didn't see a change once. And I'm like, because I'm stuck in this little threshold, and I didn't realize how much that my lifestyle was impacting my fitness results. And I just think sometimes we think that the gym is just going to be the only answer, when diet and nutrition is such a key factor in this as well.
And it's key in understanding that like food genuinely is fuel. I think a lot of people look at food as just something that cures your hunger pains. And it's not. It's not just something that you consume to consume. You are consuming food to fuel your body, to go to the gym and be able to lift, to work at your computer and be able to think clearly. That's not just happening. Those systems in your body are literally being fueled by the nutrients that you are taking in. Exactly. So if you are fueling your body with shit, you can expect not only to just like not see results, but to feel like shit when you're working at your computer, when you're thinking mentally about life, when you're in the gym, you're not going to feel as strong. Like, how you eat determines how you show up in life. It really does. There's a connection between your gut to the brain. It's like one of the strongest connections. That's why I always say, like, if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're angry, fix your gut health first, because it's stemming from whatever your gut is filled with. And a lot of times it's filled with toxins, and it leaks into our brain, and it comes out in how we portray our life and our perspective. Getting really into it. But I think it's what Katira just said. A lot of fitness influencers are focused on those calories, and calories of course matter. I feel like when people think about losing weight, scientifically how our body works, yes, lowering your caloric intake is how you are going to lose weight. If you're burning more calories than you're taking in, that's how you lose weight. That's a fact. That doesn't mean that you should prioritize caloric intake first, because if you're consuming junk, you're going to be unhealthy even if you're skinny. And that's not the goal. The goal is not to be skinny. The goal is to be truly healthy. Mind, body, soul. Like, that is the goal. So these fitness influencers promote all of these products that are filled with shit ingredients. Like, I think of Barbell, they have like every single seed oil in the book in it. I think of all the protein powders, Fruity Pebble protein powders that have like red 4, blue 4. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so unhealthy. But because it's lower calorie, they think it's better for you because it may help you get leaner. But that's not going to show up better for you in your workouts. That's not going to help you show up better.
In the long term. Of like, what is that doing in your body like 10 years from now?
Yeah, like even mentally, like your gut is directly linked to your brain. So those chemicals are building a toxic gut that's going to show up in your brain as depression, as anxiety, as anger problems. Like, that's where all of that comes through. So you may look fit and lean in the gym, but are you really who you want to be? Like, probably not. So I get so mad about that just because it's not health, and they promote it as health, and it's like really, really poison for you. Like, you shouldn't be fueling your body with that at all.
Yeah, I just think this is where like quality versus quantity matters so much. And we could keep talking about nutrition and all of this. That's another topic that of course goes along with fitness, but again, is something that we could continue to talk about with you guys. And maybe that's something we can do kind of going off of this. But yeah, I just think of course it tends to be to the things that are lower calorie, that are like a quick grab and go thing, lower calorie, quote unquote, high protein, low fat, all that stuff. It's only low fat, low calorie, high protein because of all the chemicals they put in it to get it there. Like, it is literally not real food. It is made in a lab. Like, it is not real. And I also think you just need to you need to know that, and you need to implement that, honestly. Like, eat whole foods, take care of your body. Remember that you can't outwork a bad diet, and that is not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Use that tool to your advantage, and like remind yourself of that too, of like, if you're working towards goals, you also have to discipline yourself a little bit as well.
One last thing I just want to wrap on, just like overall message, is I think the truth of everything that we said here, the root of everything that we said here, is that every single person's fitness journey is completely unique to the individual. It is not something that you're going to find in another person. It is not something that you're going to see on social media and be able to copy. It needs to be unique to you, because that's the only way that you're going to fall in love with it. It's the only way that you're going to see results that work for you. It's the only way that you're going to be able to stay consistent with it. I think a lot of people hate fitness because they force themselves to do things that they don't want to do. They force themselves to have mindsets that they don't need to have. It's really for you. Fitness is for your future, and it's for you. So do what you want to do. And I feel like just understanding that it's a blessing to move, and that you have that ability to be able to decide how you want to move, is like really an awesome experience. It's an awesome way to approach it. Exactly. So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We know we kind of just threw a lot at you, but there were so many different things that we wanted to talk about. Honestly, we could do a whole nother episode on more tips that we learned. Like we said, we've been on quite the journey, and there's still so much more to share, but I felt like these were the most pressing on our minds, that not just shape how you build muscle and work out, but that just shape the mindset, that shape the foundation that you need to be able to give yourself the grace to move through this journey, because it is a journey and a half, let me tell you. And these are definitely the foundations that have helped us get through it, and understanding these will make your life a lot easier. So thank you all so much for tuning in. one last request that we have for you is to subscribe to this YouTube channel, to follow us on Instagram at Everything Kraus, at No Sugar Pod, at Sculpt with Kateri. Like this video, comment on this video, share it with a friend. We are constantly trying to grow this community, and we do that with all of your help. We're so grateful for every single person that is here, that constantly shows up for us. So thank you already, and thank you for the work that you continue to do for us.
Yes, love that. Thank you guys so much for listening today. We hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, an amazing rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.